Hi everyone, it's me Kweeni, aka the Queen Mother, and today's lesson is going to be on divine timing. We all know divine timing is really crucial whenever you're doing spell work, but I will refresh you all on the basics. When we're doing spell work, we want to know what's going on with the planets. Where is the moon? Because the moon specifically is going to impact your work probably more than any other planet. So you need to know if the moon is waning or if it's waxing. Most people go off of if the moon is full, then it's a good time to do healing work. It's a good time to do any removals, protection work, energy clearing. So like a cord cutting, spiritual baths, that sort of thing is good for the full moon. And then for the new moon, you could consider doing anything that has to do with manifesting. But what I have personally observed, sorry, hold on. What I have personally observed is that the days of the week and whether the moon is waning or waxing has a bigger impact on the work than making sure that you do something on the full moon or the new moon. So whenever I'm doing work for myself or for other people, I usually do that work on the week leading up to the full moon or the week leading up to the new moon. If I can do that work on the day of the new moon, great. But the energy associated with each day of the week has a bigger impact when I'm doing my work. And it might be because I use more of the elemental energies than I use deities. I don't petition a lot of deities or even archangels. In a lot of my work, I like to use the spirits of the nature and just the alchemical properties of whatever I'm working with. Because deities and archangels and those types of spirits like things done a certain way. And sometimes it just makes the process more complicated. But I will tell you that deities, archangels, Orishas, voodoo, that's all in the deity realm to me. They work fast. But whenever I'm doing work for people, it's usually doing work that is supporting the work that they're already doing for themselves. So this is what I do. Things change, but as of late, this is the method that has been working the best for me and my clients. So what I was going to say is, for instance, you'll see the rituals that I have posted for this year. I plan those rituals out because I like to manifest whenever the moon is waning, and whenever the moon is waxing, I do any healing work or removal work then. What's most important is the day of the week. I kid you not. The day of the week is more crucial than anything else. It never fails. When I do the littlest bit of money work, like for instance, on Thursdays and Fridays, I have my little cleanup rituals that I do that manifest a lot of abundance and material things into my life. I like to wash my doors on Thursdays, and I like to sweep off my porch on Fridays. I dust my porch with herbs like cinnamon, basil, ginger, and some other things. Cinnamon, basil, ginger, those herbs bring in a lot of the energy that I like to keep around my house and in my home. So that's why I dust my entire porch and the front area off with those energies. Every time I do it, I kind of just do it and forget about it, and I always end up getting something randomly given to me or bought for me, or something happens to do with money. So that's a really easy money ritual. I do that consistently, and I think because I do that every week, it has a stronger effect than doing like one big candle spell for myself, if that makes sense. So whenever I'm doing these big workings, those workings move energy quickly, but they also clear the path so that you have a foundation that allows more of whatever you're asking for to come in. So if you need more wealth and prosperity, you're laying down a foundation for wealth and prosperity to come into your life versus going to a deity and asking them to come through one time. You've set a foundation of, this is the energy that surrounds me and surrounds my home. Hope that makes sense. And my phone keeps going off. Anyways, what else did I want to say? I'm really curious to see what works for you all, but yeah, it's pretty simple. Like, conjure is just, you're like your own mad scientist and you're figuring out the formulas that work for you. And if something comes up, you're figuring out how to fix it or come up with a solution to a problem or a blockage or anything like that. The moon phases and the days of the week are most important. So this is also, I wanted to touch on seasons. I don't conjure in the winter months. Really around fall, like the closer we get to October, I'm really closing up shop for myself and for people that I work with, unless it's something urgent, dealing with like protection or children. Yeah, if it's protection and children, I'm going to do something about it. But for the most part, the winter season, I've noticed that's when I have the most activity, the most visitations from my own spiritual court. So I really dedicate those months to being in deep communion with my spiritual court and the spirits that surround me in nature and myself. So I kind of flow with the seasons. You're not going to catch me doing much of anything because October gets crazy for me as soon as there's a solstice that happens in October near the Day of the Dead. It's like the end of winter solstice, I want to say. I'm shutting shit down because that's when my ancestors and loved ones that I actually got to meet in real life start coming to me. That's when I have the most activity as far as like foreign spirits coming to me and sharing information with me. It's always like that leading up to my birthday, because my birthday is in January. It's rough. December, January, it's just a lot of heavy energy that I have learned how to deal with through this work. I'm not so overwhelmed when it happens because I have protocol that I use to take really good care of myself. in those more difficult times. Honestly, that's the time of the year where I have to ground myself the most because there's so much spiritual activity going on for myself and for others. So, yeah, I don't know if that's something that every practitioner does. I know most of us usually get the blues around that time, or we look forward to a nice, like a moment of respite for ourselves. But I shut all my services down at that time just because it's overwhelming for me. So pay attention to the seasons. If you are a new conjurer, or if you want to start working roots, you need to get, hold on real quick, I gotta go get a book. Okay, so this book will tell you a lot. It'll tell you a lot about what you need to know. The thing about herbs and plants and metals, really the thing about all of these materials is if you study and observe the nature of the material, you will see the true characteristics and the metaphysical potential of that material. Okay? So that's why I'm always telling people you need to get more in tune with nature, and you'll start to intuitively know what certain plants can be used for in your work and in any, like, if you're consuming plants, like making teas and tinctures and cooking. Plant spirits are especially powerful. So I really recommend this book. It pretty much covers everything. There's another book that I don't feel like getting out the house. I've posted it on my YouTube community tab, and it is I cannot think of the name of it, but I'll make sure that I put it up somewhere for you guys to look at in this post. Yeah, I'm blanking. But it's for root workers. It's for those of you who may be interested in the Southern hoodoo tradition. It has a lot of plants that are native to this, the Southern regions and things that you would see in those type of workings. Also, moon magic. You can really go in any bookstore and find some decent information on the seasons, the phases of the moon. This is very basic knowledge that we used to have because we had to be in tune with nature for our survival, for our plants, for our food, for our hunting seasons and stuff like that. But we've lost that. So what happens is you find it in a lot of new age stuff. For instance, I feel like Wicca is an underrated resource, especially for those of you who are trying to get like a foundational understanding of things, because you need to know the seasons and what you can and what's beneficial, or rather what's auspicious in this season versus what's not auspicious to do in this season. You need to know the moon cycles. You need to know the colors. You need to know the metals that belong to each planet. You need to know the deities associated with each planet, with each plant. study. You need to study. It will make, not only will it make you a better practitioner, but you'll be able to do so much with very little when you understand the versatility of every single thing that you come across. So yeah, those are all the resources that I have for now. I'm curious to see what you guys have to share. I hope this lesson was helpful. Please let me know if there's anything else that you would like to learn, and I'll see y'all in the next post. Bye-bye.